we were using our graphics calculator to, we were using our graphics calculator to solve some of these questions rather than our formula. Now, the formula that we were playing with was for lump sums, right? So that is when you win the lotto or somebody leaves you some money, right? And you get a whole bunch of money and you put it away and you don't touch it for however long you've got that investment put away for. So you might put it away for 5 years or 2 years or whatever, but you don't touch it. Are we too cold? Are we okay? Right? So our calculator works out this formula for us, but remember, you're going to have to use this formula by hand as well, right? But we want to spend today finishing off exercise C4 using the calculator, and then we're going to look at, well, instead of having a lump sum, right, that's not how you normally save. The best way to save or even pay off a loan is to make regular repayments. And we're going to look at that. And as I was telling to Jazz, you might get a little bit scared about, or shocked about home loans. Your investigation that we're going to look at is about looking at a car loan. So that's where we're heading, to try and get you the skills that you'll be able to knock out your investigation quite easily. So if we could open up, I think we were meant to finish up to 7. Did we? You did all of C4? Was that a yes? Okay, I'll come and see you. No, C4, it was 1 to 7. That's okay. If you finished it all, that's fantastic. I'll get you getting on the next bit. We will have a shocking... We'll look at number 8, and we'll go, how do we actually do this? Très quickly. We have just won the lotto. Yeah. And I've just come in to say, thanks, nice being a good year. See you later. You need a mask. Right? So, we have won the lotto. Oh, 1, 2, 3. No, how sad. No, I want more than that. I won't say goodbye if I only win that much. Anyway. How much did you win? So we have to look and go, oh my God, what is going on here? Is it simple interest or is it compound? Right, we read here, compounded. And what does annually mean? Once a year, all right? So we have to pop this into our calculator. Now, do you remember, if you are breaking them up into maybe 3 questions at a time or 4, you can just have NI, what comes next? Is it PV? PV, PMT, FV, and then PY, CY. PY, CY, which is compounding per year. So, if we're doing this question, question 8, right, we just fill in the bits and pieces. So this compounded annually, that's the first one we're dealing with, because that's going to be down here for PY, CY. We're going to pop the 1 there. Agreed? Yep. All right. What else can we fill in? This is nice. The 6.5. And we remember, when you said 0.065, that would be if we were using the formula and doing it by hand. When we're using the calculator, we remember that we just plop it in. This is the calculator. And back to our CYPY, that also comes into play with our N, the number of times it compounds, because we say 1 times however long we've got it invested for, right? The 8 is question 8. Now, how can I finish off with the N? Where am I looking? Where's the question, what we're doing with the N? Right, after 4 years. So that's going to be 1 times 4. If it had been compounded monthly, wherever you see the 1 here, the yellow, that would be replaced with 12. If it was compounded biannually, the 1 would be replaced with 2. Remember those terms? What about fortnightly? How many fortnights in a year? 26. We've got to know these ones, all right? Okay. Do we remember The payment, there is no payment. So we have to make that 0. So your big decision now is, oh, I've run out of colours. What is my big decision? Is, where is this $102,917 going? Is that your present value? Do you have it now? Or is it your future value? You have it in the future. So that means you have to read the question. What do you think? What do you think?
Present value?
Present value, let's read it. After 4 years, your winnings have grown to 102. How much did you win in the lottery? So how much did you win? Isn't that what we're trying to find, how much we won now? So we're going to say this is our 102,917.31, and we are actually trying to solve our PV. So we're going to pop all of that into our calculator, and then we're going to press PV. So do we remember how to use our calc? You read here. So ready? It's very difficult. Very difficult. Isn't it? Try hard. I don't know if you'll be able to do this. So we open it up. We go to menu. Who wants to take over? Who wants to hold them? Do you want to hold the? You can direct me. Hold the mic, mates. Oh, mystery student.
You
direct me.
Okay. Press the one that's the financial or the TV thing, and then you do compound interest. F2, and then you do the numbers that it says in there. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say?
No.
All right. So your interest was 6.5. Thanks for that. Your PV, that was one of the things we had to remember now. We're finding PV, so we just make that 0, 0, and let's see if I can remember, 102,000, I want to say 914. Oh, was it 914? 917. Oh. Right, now notice the PY and CY, if you change your PY, your CY changes automatically. And what do we have to now do? We're trying to find our present value, Bahija, so we just press present value, that's it. So you won, dun 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 dun, $80,000 in the lotto. Woo-hoo-hoo! Not the amount to retire on, but hey, not bad. Because that's how much you had initially. So they said, how is that how much you won? That's how much you invested initially. So they're saying they won the lotto and you invested the whole shebang. You invested the whole money. Yeah? So seriously, if you're not even up to this, you can still manage, right? Stay with me, honey Lily. Stay with. No, you're not. You're not. I'll be able to catch you up quite easily. So where am I putting those doodads from, right? I'm just listing NI, PV, PMT, FV. I'm just listing it down the page. And then I'm going to read the question and I'm going to fill it in. So once again, we've got NI, PV, PMT, FV, PY, CY, right? We're good with that. Read it first because that's why we've gone to our compounding, right? Because we saw compounded quarterly. Now the compounded quarterly, as soon as we read that, the PYCY, that becomes 4. We happy with that? It's just the same thing over and over, right? And you go here for the N 4 times, and it's going to be 4 times the number of years. So can we read the question? And what is our number of years? Oh, now we're cooking with gas. Look at this. How long did they keep the money for? Rot roll, Scooby, rot roll, Shaggy. So this now we have to set to 0 because that's going to be the thing that we're going to find. All right, what else can I put in? Yeah, interest is always a great one. 4.5, so 4.5. So somewhere there you should have the PV and the FV. Which is which? Does everyone agree? PV is the 40,000? Because does the couple, they have it now. They inherited $40,000, so they've got that now. So that is our PV. And what do we have to remember about PV? You've got to stick the negative there, the minus. Good. And so that means our dear sweet Money Has Soon, they had over $45,000. Yeah, man. 45,000. And we're going to pop that in our calculator. All right, we'll fix your calculator in a moment. We pop in all of this into our calculator. Minus 40, 1, 2, 3. Enter, bless you. Future value. And that's now 4. Has everybody popped that in? So, when I've entered this, Honey Lily, watching? When I've entered this, I want to find N, so what am I going to press? F1. Here's the big question. Does that mean it's 10.5 years? It doesn't. It's 10.5 quarters. Why quarters? Because we had the 4 here. If that was monthly, then I would say 10.5 months, so not even a year. But because we're dealing this with quarterly, we're going to say this is 10.5. So N is 10.5 quarters. So just under 3 years, right? 4 goes into 10, 2, so 2.5 years, yeah? Roughly. But I'm happy if you just leave it as 10.5 quarters. Yeah? Shall we do one more? All right. 10. So again, it's compound. Oops, where did I put mine? It's compound. So again, we go N, I, PV. If you are smart, you have done a table with this down the left-hand side so you don't have to keep writing them like I do. I was not that smart. All right. So again, we read and it's saying how long. So that means I'm putting the 0 at the end because that's what I'm trying to find. It's also not regular repayments, so that means we know that PMT is 0. Sienna Rose has probably just left that out because she's annoyed to write the PMT all the time, scrunches up her face. What's the next easiest one to put in? Really? Okay, what's your PV? Right, a business deposits 80,000, so that's what they had originally. That's their PV. They've popped it in there, so minus 80. I thought there was another one that was probably easier to pop in there. The 5 and a, oops, I should have done that. So, 5 1/4, what's that as a decimal? 5.25. Ooh, sorry, can you see that? Bad luck. I'm just rocking a new colour. And, okay, have we got our, we haven't got either one of these, FV and PYCY, what we're going to put for this. This one should be easy. What should the PYCY be? Fitzy? It's monthly, exactly. So what will we put there? 12. And now all that's left is the future value. And what colour have I not used? Orange. Okay, they want to double their money. So if they've doubled their money, what will they have in the future? What'd you say? Absolutely, 160,000. So be careful how they're wording the question. It could have said they earned $20,000 in interest. What would your future value be then? No, if you put in 80,000 and you earned 20,000 in interest, what would your future value be? 100,000. 80 plus 20, 100, yeah. So we pop all of this in. You're going to solve for n, and whatever n that you get, it's going to be that many months. Yeah? Months. So do it. Let's see what you get. So 158.8 months, which I'm quite happy with. But when we just looked at the answers, they had it in years. So how do I change that to years? Divide by 12. So 5. Oh. No, that's not looking very good, is it? 13. So 13 years and 3 months. So if you divide the 158.8, or you could go 159, but you know what? At this point in time, I'm quite happy if you just go 158.8 months. When you check your answers, you should be able to go, oh yeah, that's what we mean. So 158.8 divided by 12, 13, and then you can say 0.23 times 12 gives you roughly the 3 months, 2.7, right? Why did I times by 12? Because there's 12 months in a year. But don't stress about that, people. I'm just happy that you're getting the use of your calculator under control. All right? So no surprises now. I don't think that the next question, I reckon, is going to say finding maybe the interest rate. So if you want to, you could try the example. Do that without looking. See if you get the same thing. And then away you go. And I'll just touch base with some people. Stuff works better with a massive amount rather than your car loan will only be around $20,000. And even then, I'd hate to think you were actually borrowing $20,000 for your first car. But anyway, who knows? My first car, paid cash, $2,500. Barney the Sigma. No air conditioning. I could lift the bonnet and work out what was going on underneath. Yeah, I did a little bit of tinkering. Anyway, so what we want to do is consider, we're going to borrow the average, Ruby just looked this up, the average home loan is $500,000. That scares me a little bit. We're going to take the interest rate as being 4%. Anyone have an idea how long do you have to pay off a home loan? So it's roughly, they go for 30 years. The longer you take to pay it off, what you will find is that's going to affect the amount of interest that you are charged over the life of the loan. So I need you on a bit of paper now to write down, just in a scribble, whatever, 2 things. First thing, I want you to think about if we're paying this off over 30 years, $500,000, how much do you think that you have to repay per month? All right, what do you think are your monthly repayments going to be? And what do you think will be the total that you have paid back after 30 years? So you've borrowed $500,000. How much do you think you've paid back? So is it $550,000? Do you think you've paid back $600, $650, $700, $750, $800, whatever? So just, I don't care, I'm not even going to ask. I just want you to doodle something down. How much do you think you have to pay back every month? Just have an approximate. And how much do you think you'll pay in total? And as a guide, how many months in 30 years? 30 times 12. So 360 payments you'll make. So just do that, 10 seconds. No one's sharing. All right. So we're going to do our usual, our N, our I, our PV, our PMT, our future value, our PYCY. So for N, so grab your calculators. Our N is going to be 12 times 30, and we're putting 12 for our PYCY. We have no future value in this case. No future value. No. Our PMT, that is what we are trying to find. So that's 0, but that's what we're going to try and find. Our present value is what we have borrowed. So the 500,000, do not I repeat, this time, because it's not a lump sum, we've got payments coming up, you do not have to put a negative there. So don't put a minus. Your interest is 4%. So let's have a look at what happens. So we've got 12 times 30, we've got 4, we've got 500. PMT is what we want. Future value is 0. That's 12. It changes automatically and we push PMT. Are we ready? You have an idea of what you want to pay per month? What? Correct. 2,387. And look what happens, because they're going to start discussing, oh, interest rates are going to rise. They're going to rise by 0.5%, right? Look what happens to my PMT now. I don't know what it was before, but it went up, yeah? So that's why people go, hell's bells, I haven't got an extra $200 per month. You can't lock in your interest rates for 30 years. The most you can lock it in for, I think, is 5 years. So you have to go, I can't borrow a money where I'm right on the edge of my budget, right? You've got to have that buffer. Hang on. And here comes the killer. Have you all had a guess at how much you have to pay back over 30 years? Yeah. You're paying this 12 times a year for 30 years. So 2,387. I'm glad you're sitting down. 2,387 every month for 30 years. You borrowed how much? This is how much you have to pay back. $859,000. Now, guess what? That's really good. When we have interest rates that are at their normal level of 6%, 5 3/4, whatever, you are normally paying back double what you borrowed. Why? Because of the interest rate. Actually, I don't need that. Hello. Manny, where's your math book? You didn't bring your math book again. But I didn't think Manny would remember. Yes. Yes. I downsized. Oh. Have you seen my big butler? Yeah. Where's your book? I failed this shit.
And no gift isn't. I didn't realize that there was like a document. Oh no, I was talking about the Oh, just saying. Would it attempt it or just saying? Maybe.
We don't even have a list.
Now, Asha,
Oh yeah.
was it your writing? Was it your writing? This. Why didn't you put it here? Oh, what happened to the back side? Now, we'll have a chat in a minute. Good. Ethan? Ryan, yes. Yours wasn't a book?
Yeah, I didn't actually have Oh, geez,
Ryan. You haven't given me yours. Yep, so I need it. What is that? You needed to know one of my 12 classes say, so he would always have a song in his head constantly. And he'd be in a test, and all of a sudden you'd see him doing this. He's sitting there doing his work. He plays the percussion. You know, Dave. Last year I saw you in one of the choir things. He was on the thing, he was year 12 last year. And he's standing behind the xylophone, and all of a sudden you see him. Such a sweet lad. Anyway, okay. Now,
Music people are special.
they are. Heads up. Thank you. So I was very pleased looking at your books and the worksheet. However, doing the worksheet, I'd like to think, I know there was some good group work, which is excellent. There was also, you did your own because there weren't copy, which was nice. However, your test tomorrow, that's where you need to be able to do it without looking at your books. And that means you now need to concentrate. There's a couple of people that I would like to chat to, how they're going. There are still several of you who are making mistakes like 3x equals 2. Some of you are still wondering, is it 2 over 3 or is it 3 over 2? Who can tell me what it is and why? It is indeed 2 over 3. Why? To get rid of the times 3, you must divide by 3, right? If you wrote 3 over 2, this is dividing by 2, so that's no good. So make sure that you're reading your work to do the right thing. The other common mistake that I was seeing were things like this, minus 3, let's say x take, oh, I'm cramping my foot, x take 2, right? What happens when you expand? Hey, my time. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x, but what's a negative times a negative? A positive. I don't want to see minus 2. Do not write that. I don't want to see minus plus 2. Don't write that. Okay, yes?
Would it be plus 6 or?
Oh, 6, sorry, yes. See, that's because they were talking. So, what I need you to do, a couple of things. On day map, my toes are cramping. Yeah, I know. Oh, did I just unpause?